if you want to quit any addiction, and I'm mainly talking about semen retention, but this applies to anything, this is the one thing you need. You need to have a reason. You got to have a reason to stay strong, a reason to keep fighting through the battle. And if your reason isn't good enough, you'll fail every time. Now, last video, we was talking about this stuff. And I know it looked confusing, like I just dipped my dick into some ink and humped the page, but it got some meaning to it. And I recommend you watch those videos also after this. But getting into semen retention some more in this video, you have to have a reason to stay strong. And that reason can be anything. That reason can be literally anything. Anything that resonates with your heart and spirit, you know, anything that resonates inside, let that be your reason. And I like to break it up into two categories, right? Something that I want to go towards, or something I want to get away from. And what I mean by that, my reason is mostly something I want to get towards. Like, I want to stop because I want to get married. I want to actually meet a real woman. You know what I mean? Like, I want to actually go out and socialize. I want to be 100% fearless when I socialize. That's my goal. So I retain my seed, and as long as I'm working on that goal, getting towards that goal, it gives me motivation to not fold. Something that I'm running away from is the past of like how I used to just be afraid for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and look, I'm actually about to tell you a story. I'm about to sit down and tell you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you right now. We walking. Look at all the birds flying. This is something I want to get away from, and it's personal. I never had sex before, but you know what I mean? I was with this one girl, and I was getting some off. I was getting some suck off. I was getting some slurp. And I'm not advertising, you know what I mean, sex and stuff on this channel, because God wants us to wait until marriage. So that's what I'm always going to preach. But at the end of the day, you know, only human, and I'm just sharing my experience so you can know part of the reason I'm on this retention. I had to skip the video head to head because there was too much going on when I was walking. But neither here nor there, back to the story. I was with this one girl, and I was about to get sucked off. And this 100% just me being vulnerable and opening myself up to you, because when you express vulnerability and you express love to others, you receive it back. So how can I expect you to love me if I can't love you enough to share something personal about myself? That's basically what my thought process is right now. But neither here nor there, I was with this one girl in the college dorm, and I was about to get sucked off, and it was time for me to get erect, and that shit just wouldn't get up. And it was embarrassing as fuck, to be honest. Like, I mean, that shit was a straight up motherfucker. That shit was limp as fuck. It was late on arrival. I'm waiting for it to shoot up, and it just didn't work. And you gotta keep in mind why that is. Porn is 2D. It's flashing lights. It's me by myself. I can go at my own pace. So when I'm with another girl moving at a different speed that I'm used to, with different personalities, and you can see stuff and feel stuff and smell stuff, it throw you off. And it threw me off. And that's one of the things I'm running away from, or getting away from, because I don't want to be thrown off like that again. I want to actually be adapted to the real world, reprogram my mind for the real world. So that's another thing that keeps me going on this retention. And you gotta have those motivating factors. You gotta have that motivation. Your reason for success has to outweigh your reason to stay the same. It has to, or else you're just gonna be in the same spot. And it's a thing too. You have to feel that in your heart. Like, I was talking to this one dude. He said, I told him, you know, if you keep beating off, you'll never, you won't get hard in front of a girl. It happened to me. And he said, okay, I'll stop. But he didn't stop. And I think the reason for that is, deep in his heart, he don't even see himself getting a girl in the first place to be able to get hard in front of her regardless. You know what I mean? So like, he don't care if he got erectile dysfunction, because he don't see himself having a girl at all to even get hard with. So it was no motivating factor behind that, because deep down he didn't even believe in himself enough to change. And that's another thing. You have to just, your mind and your soul, your mind and your spirit just gotta resonate. Back to this. Spiritual, mental, physical. You can't have a disconnect between the longings of your spirit, the things you actually want. You want love, you want connection, you know what I mean, etc., etc. Find a wife, etc. You can't have a disconnect between the spirit and the mind, or else you'll end up like that. You don't even mentally believe that you can achieve this, so physically you just keep beating off. And that's another thing. So make sure that you're in alignment with those things. But yeah, I made a book on how to stop beating off. It's on my Tumblr, link in bio. Go down there and check it out. And yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Music channel, link in bio. Made a song called More Dragonfly. Check it out, man. And I love y'all, always. Praise Christ.